Bird of Prey 5. El Karuga.
Qapla!
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Karuga. That's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to tip your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
If you come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. If you're here to make war, we surrender.
Both good. The important thing is I'm meeting new people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework factory. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. And that means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Bird of Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hello world, it's Bird of Prey 5, Qapla, and welcome to a special unscheduled live stream. 36 years today. 36 years ago today, Star Trek The Next Generation premiered on American TV for the very first time. Yeah, it's a day that should be remembered. And welcome to the panel, JP's Qapla.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, JP's. So a day I thought we could discuss, reflect on. All of us here are Star Trek fans, and whether you're a fan of the Next Generation or not, I don't think you can arguably say that the Next Generation was not an important part of the Trek saga. It's not my favorite Trek. It's not my second favorite Trek, but I will openly acknowledge it was the Trek that was needed, and without which they would not have gotten Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise. Arguably the rest. I would say the rest probably could be done without. But certainly Deep Space Nine and Voyager and Enterprise needed things. We need TNG to get us. At least that's my thoughts. Cinnabon Bunny was first in the chat. Applause, Cinnabon Bunny. Dan Ben was second. And Dan Ben. Richie Poole was third, although he says 2 Vicks, then he corrected and said 3 Vicks. Welcome, Richie Poole. Gorilla's Random Thought says Qapla, Gorilla. And I put the link in. Anybody wants to join the panel, and I pinned it. Hakeem says Early Bird, Qapla, Hakeem. And executive producer Saul Leibowitz is at work and can't join. No worries, Saul. Pat S. That's 36 years. Good Lord. How old is the original series? 60, I believe. Or damn close to it. 1966. September of 1966. So do the math. Of course, my brain has shut down. So I actually have to use a calculator. 2023 minus 1966. 57. 57 years old. Does that make sense?
I guess.
Yeah, right. Because we're going back to the premiere of the original series on TV. Now, The Cage was they didn't actually air. I mean, The Cage was taped or filmed in 1965, I think, as a pilot, but it didn't air until the 80s. So going by air date so 57 officially years of Trek. And
36 good years.
Well, I like the original series. Certainly some of them. So
For the movies, then STNG.
movies, absolutely. Yeah, it's been a long road. It's been a long road, Pat S. Captain Fandom Nerds is good afternoon. Good afternoon, Captain. Welcome to come on up, Captain. I was on Captain's stream this morning. Captain, you're certainly welcome to come on up this afternoon. You're welcome to come up anytime. Darth Mauls is 36 years since my Trekkie induction. I was all of a couple of days into my 5th year of life. Okay, well, 1987, I was born in 78. So I was born in November of 78. So I was, what, 7 or 8 years old. I do not remember watching TNG
Wait, what?
when it first came out.
You said 87, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would have been 12. That was my prime years.
Yeah, well, you have no excuse. Did you watch it?
Yes, I did. It was either on Wednesday or Thursday nights. I can't recall. But it was during the week, Wednesday or Thursday nights. And I would go to hockey practice, come home, and watch my STNG.
Very cool. Yeah, I was still a little too young to care. I might have watched it. I honestly don't know. I don't remember. I don't recall. I don't recall anything in the fuck I was doing at that age. I mean, maybe I remember what I was doing at school, but certainly don't remember anything I was doing after school. Darth Maul says, yeah, it was a couple of days into his 5th year of life, so he's even more off of it than I am. Alex Moore says, good afternoon, Qapla. Alex. Darth Maul says, Discovery, lol. Yeah. Pat S says, I just figured out TNG is Berto Bray's 3rd favorite track, using my Spock's brain on that one. Indeed, Pat S. Although, to be honest, sometimes I wonder if it's even 3rd. It might be 4th.
It keeps going down the list, doesn't it?
It does. Like, okay. Absolutely DS9 is before TNG. TOS and DS9 come before TNG. In any case, so at best, it's the third best. But there are times when I think about it hard, and even Enterprise, I think might be pound for pound a better series than TNG. Now, I'm not saying that Enterprise could have replaced TNG or anything like that. I acknowledge that TNG was the Trek we needed at the time. It might not have been the Trek I would have wanted, but it was the Trek we needed to bridge the gap, to get us from TOS into a different space. It was the Trek we needed to bring us into the 24th century. It's just, I'm happy the way things turned out until Enterprise. At Enterprise, that's when things really started going poorly. And then, of course, everything after Enterprise, that was an utter disaster. But up until Enterprise, things were going pretty good. Even if TNG wasn't my second or third favorite, it was still a good show. I don't think anybody would ever argue that TNG was bad Trek. In many ways, TNG was better Trek than TOS.
Quick, somebody clip that.
I'm just saying, in their way, it's arguable. They certainly were trying to keep a more consistent experience, a more consistent universe, if you will, where TOS, they didn't care in TOS what the maximum warp speed of the Enterprise was. It was whatever the writer of the week needed it to be. Whereas in TOS and TNG, they actually did try to keep a consistent, warp speed setting, things like that. Dave G says Qapla, Karoga, and friends. Qapla, Dave G. Dan Ben says Deep Space Nine is also my favorite Star Trek. And you couldn't have Captain Sisko without Captain Picard, right? I mean, Captain Sisko, the very first thing we learned about Captain Sisko was his hate for Captain Picard, because of the Borg, because of Wolf 359, because of Locutus, right? From the very first moment Commander Sisko was introduced to us, he was the opposite of Captain Picard. And then throughout the series of Deep Space Nine, basically anytime Picard would have turned left, Sisko was there to turn right. Anytime Picard was like, well, Picard would have, talked his way through this. Instead, what's Captain Sisko do? He punches the guy. And it wasn't just Q.
Yeah.
There was several other times where, given the option to discuss it, Captain Sisko would rather throw a physical punch at somebody. And you're like, yeah, this is my captain. This is the captain who's not afraid to kick some ass. This is the captain who wants to get shit done and not just, quote Shakespeare.
Yeah, Picard definitely wouldn't be any part of creating a fake holotape of stuff and getting somebody blown up.
Yeah,
being able to live with
bringing
it.
him into the war.
Yes, yeah.
And welcome the original true ultimate champion.
Thank you. Greetings. How is everyone?
Doing decent.
Well, I think you guys are wrong, though. The first thing we learned about Cisco was not that he was had a problem with Picard. I'm pretty sure the first thing we learned about him was that he was black.
That's true.
What's that got anything to do with it?
You're right. You're right. No, you know, when somebody's right, he's right. The very first thing I learned about Commander Cisco, although actually I would say the very first thing I learned about Commander Cisco was he had a son.
Yeah.
But the son was also black.
Yeah.
Was it really a son, though?
State the obvious.
Yes, and that they knew how to go fishing. Those are all very first. I guess actually the very first thing is that he was the first officer of the Saratoga. Right?
Sure.
I really like if that was a Jeopardy question, I feel like we would all get it.
We'll just agree with Bird and nod our head.
Richie Poole says 57. Okay, he was doing the math quicker than I could. Pat S says thanks. Qapla. Taylor Swift greater than Disney Star Wars. Puts in a whole bunch of sassy and Charlie, Karoga, and Mamo Frey emojis. Thank you, Taylor Swift. Dan Ben says apparently the worst episode of TNG is Shades of Grey, season 2 finale, because it's a clip show. I would agree with that, Dan Ben. However, I am troubled to find how many people think Code of Honor is actually the worst TNG episode. And I will fight you. I will fight anyone who thinks Code of Honor is a bad episode. Schwario says, Bird Break 5, Qapla Bird. Hope you and the family are doing well today. I hope you're doing well, Schwario. Schwario says 36 years of TNG. Wow. Indeed. And just a heads up, it's 3:30 now. I'm figuring I've got an hour or so to stream, and then I'll have to have physical therapy coming up by 5 p.m. So I'll need sometimes. So if we're figuring this will go for probably another hour. So a heads up. If anybody would like to talk or anything, now's your chance.
Honestly, during like season 1 and 2 of TNG, I actually didn't think it was going to survive. It would get canceled. It was pretty terrible.
Really, you remember it that well?
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid. I was like, "Wow, this is not going to last."
The only bad TNG episodes is anything that involved Alexander.
Yeah, I hate
Welcome, Captain Phantom Nerd.
Thank you. I have to disagree with you. That episode was awful.
Code of Honor.
Code of Honor.
Just what is awful about it?
Okay. Unfortunately, it's looking through with today's lens. It's just very cringeworthy.
What I've heard from people, and this isn't you, so maybe you have other feelings, but basically, the people who seem to say that it's so terrible tell me, well, it's terrible because they cast black people to play some kind of like white man's version of what African are thought to be, or never really were, but
Right.
like some white person's fantasy of what an African tribe would be. And I'm thinking, well, you're telling me that if they weren't black, then it would be okay. Like if the actors in Code of Honor were all cast were white people, they were all Irish people that dressed like that and had a civilization that was based on the same things, and then it would be okay. And if you're saying yes, then you're really saying is that it's racist because they cast black people. I would say, well, isn't that the definition of racism? That if they had cast white people, it wouldn't be racist. Then how can it be racist because they cast black people? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think one of the biggest problems with that episode is people don't look at some of the other ones where 99% of the people that lived on advanced Federation worlds that were at peace were all white.
Yeah.
Well, how advanced? I mean, if you look at the at episode Justice, where Wesley steps on the grass and is going to be put to death for trampling flowers, that was an all-white planet.
Yeah,
pretty much.
A lot of like the happy planets they go to.
But is that happy? I mean, I guess you could say that the people, if you ask them, they're happy, but they didn't seem happy about having to put people to death. They didn't seem happy about, oh my God, we've got to put Wesley Crusher to death.
I don't know. That guard seemed a little bit excited to be jabbing Wesley with that thing.
Well, I mean, it's Wesley. Who wouldn't be excited to put him to death?
It's like, let me just stab him, please.
Even back then, I was going, "Oh, come on, yes."
I'll go on the LDG.
Hey, everybody.
What do you think, LDG? Putting Wesley Crusher to death, happy time or sad time?
I think it was a missed opportunity. I mean, could you imagine the rest of TNG without him?
Yeah.
Quite a few episodes. We could have gotten some better episodes instead of, Wesley shooting a phaser at a fountain.
That's true.
Or driving Miss Picard to his heart transplant, whatever.
Richie Pools' TOS is better than the TOS movies.
What?
That's I don't know.
That's insane.
That's close. I could say maybe. I don't know, Richie. That is it's a.
If you're talking about Star Trek V, okay, I'll give you that.
I won't even give you that.
It'd be really hard to beat the Star Trek 2 through 4 trilogy and 6.
US movies were way better than the series.
Yeah, I thought the series was just way too campy for me.
Exactly.
Darth Maul's Code of Honor is a very woman-centric episode. Yeah, that too. I mean, you want to put race, but you completely forget that it puts the woman above the guy at the end. Well, throughout the whole episode. And
They
Taylor
fight in
Swift,
neon tube cages. Come on, that's awesome.
Taylor Swift greater than Disney Star Wars with a $1 super chat. Thank you so much, Taylor Swift. Greater than Disney Star Wars.
If it's actually Taylor Swift, you should be getting way more money.
I don't know. It's the real Taylor Swift. Dan Ben says, yeah, this was 50 years ago of the animated series. Well, the animated series is 50 years.
Animated series is garbage.
Never watched it.
I never watched it at the time. I watched it for the first time a few years ago, and I forgot most of it, as can be told by my Jep Nerdy performances. Taylor Swift, greater than Disney Star Wars, is also giving some pizza out. Actually, Taylor Swift, that sounds delicious. I wish I had some pizza. Dave G. Sounds is Bird Brain. I don't know who he's talking about. Gap After Dark says Qapla Bird. Hello, all Qapla Gap. And Dave G says the cage was taped along with the fake moon landing to save on studio time. Dan Ben is not one of the fans who likes the Inner Light or masks. Well, I like the Inner Light. I do not like masks.
No.
Masks, I hate, kinda.
I thought the Inner Light was a seriously overrated episode.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that
he goes through an entire lifetime in a few seconds. I mean, it's something that should really, impact his character over his lifetime. And it seems like right after that, except for the flute every now and then he pulls out. Yeah, there's no effect on him, on his character.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I just got back. Hey, Bird, what's wrong with church?
What?
You said something. You were saying something. I wasn't listening. I put my headset back on. You said something was wrong with church. You hate church? Mass?
I have no idea what you were talking about.
You were saying you hate mass.
Masks. The
mass.
The TNG episode.
Gotcha. The Enterprise. Okay.
Like a Halloween mask.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. That was one with Data, right?
Yeah. Well, Data wore one of the masks. He became
terrible episode.
The moon god or whatever.
It was a rewriting.
The ship is getting transformed into rocks and trees. Where are all the people? What happened to them?
They're turning into things too.
Why are the ship like
that was the life? Wasn't that the life equation episode? They found some species that figured out the perfect program or something, and it can regenerate anything or whatever.
Once again, LDG shows that mouth works before listening skills.
hey, you got second place on that one, my friend.
Oh no, I don't.
I'm a pro.
Close to you.
But you're an aspiring
you
artist.
said something about church, Bird? Did you say something about church?
I'm saying I hate mass, and I didn't hear masks.
Masks.
I told Bird if he streamed today, he's not 100%. I can barely hear him.
I heard you say something.
What are you talking about? I'm not 100%. You can barely hear me.
The way you were talking, I'm like, I'm having a hard time understanding your words. And when you said mask, is just another. I didn't hear mask. I heard mask.
Okay, fine. I give you that. I can understand. You thought I was saying mass. Now I don't know why you would think I meant church mass as opposed to.
Oh, that was
like
a stretch.
Mass.
Yeah, that was the stretch. I just picked something and said that. So, yeah,
that's where Dan Ben is extremely wrong. Deanna Troy's mother is a MILF.
Oh God.
Wow. What?
Yeah.
Really? You would be all
want Laxana?
Oh, I'd be all over that and Troy.
Well,
you know what? I enjoyed
the
pain on Picard's face when Luoxana showed up. That's what I enjoyed.
So Dan Ben says, I like Deanna Troy's mother. I know a lot of people found her annoying.
You know what you need to do now, Bird? You need to have, and I mentioned this earlier too, you need to have more than kissing Dax. You need to have Laxana, whatever. Who did she kiss? Didn't she kiss Odo once?
Probably.
Kissing Laxana super chat, and there was another one too. Oh, why don't you have Odo and Kira kissing super chat?
Because nobody wants to see Odo and Kira.
If somebody has the hots for Luoxana Troy, does that mean they also have the hots for the Enterprise computer?
Sure.
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's it, Elcars. Talk to me.
Darth Maul says, I don't get the love Inner Light gets. It's not a horrible episode at all. I just don't get it. I mean, that's the thing. I think it's a good episode. I'm not saying it's a great episode.
I agree with Cinnabon on some cases there. Like it, after it was done, I mean, he only has the flute and he plays the flute periodically, but it doesn't there's no life-changing
The flute's not part of the mask.
Personality change with Picard, really.
Well, I mean, that was kind of the problem with the last of TNG. Sorry, hold on a second.
Darth Maul said, did Cisco ever heal from his hatred of Picard? Yeah, he did. He kind of made up for it in that very first episode. He kind of made up for it by the end.
Well, he understood the difference between the two, but he was still pissed.
I think the aliens helped him come to terms with it. You know.
Yeah, the prophets. Gorilla's Random Thoughts says, come on, Bird. Garrick deserved it. What did Garrick deserve?
Death.
John Street says, Bird of Prey, wait, TNG is 36 years old. Thank you for reminding me that I'm old now. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Dan Van is saying WTF. Gorilla says, hey to Gap. Well, a lot of people said hello to a lot of people. Dan Van says, yes, Star Trek posts on social media that TNG is 36 years old. Yuck. Richie Poole says DS9 opens during Wolf 359. Did I say Wharf 359? Sorry. Yes, Wolf 359. If I said Wharf 359, that's because I was thinking of the Lower Decks episode.
Now, the episode I like that kind of links to the one we're talking about here, with Picard. I like the one where he meets the geologist that plays the piano in the bowels of the ship. You know,
yeah,
finds that nice acoustic play, and he gets a romance with her. I thought that was pretty cool.
And then she's thrown off the ship at the end of the episode. Poor Picard. The lovely Sherry is in the house. Qapla, the lovely Sherry. Okay, maybe she's not thrown off the ship, but she chooses to leave. Something like that.
Sub Rosa
because
was hot.
Picard had to use her on a dangerous away mission. Qapla, Richie Poole. Dave G says, I'd be happy to go back to my luxury liner D in another iteration if the writing could be dumbed back to the 80s and 90s too, to make it a fun show again. I think so. I think most people would do that. Richie Poole says Wharf 359 sounds like a gaming studio. Wharf 359 is putting out a blockbuster game called Klingon Warzone. Darth Maul says, if you don't like Code of Honor, you're sexist. Absolutely. Dan Van says, Code of Honor is on the list of worst episodes. I think Shades of Grey is number one. Yeah, Shades of Grey is like the worst rated show. I just don't like that Code of Honor is like a close number two. Richie Poole says Code of Honor was okay. Wow, Richie Poole, I'm surprised you of all people.
Is that episode where Yar is fighting the chicken?
Yes.
The light sticks.
The light sticks, yes. The African American episode.
Yeah, the apparently Gene Roddenberry had access to what was his name? Who was that freaking I want to say hip hop artist that but we used to tease him because he had a genie pants. Damn it.
MC Hammer.
MC Hammer, thank you. God, I can't believe I forgot that.
How do you forget the McHammer?
Hammer time.
Yeah. It's like Gene Roddenberry raided MC Hammer's wardrobe just to get the aliens done, you know?
With his hit song Hammer Time and Go Ninja Go.
I don't know if it's true, but I always heard that that there was no description on what the aliens were supposed to look like, and that casting them all as black was just something casting did to try and, get a more diverse casting going on. I don't know. I have no way of knowing if that's true or not. It was just one of those things I heard along the way. And I said, it makes some sense. I mean, you don't think the author would be writing in the side, oh, by the way, these guys are all supposed to look like this.
I did think it was kind of funny though. Like in the beginning of the show, you think, okay, the guys have all the power; they can do whatever the hell they want. But then in the end of it, you find out, oh, he just got owned by the wife. The wife just gave all his property to somebody else. Damn, dude. Lay by your dish.
Look, I'd like to live on that planet, please.
Dan Ben says Patrick Stewart didn't think the show would last a year, so he didn't buy a place to live in America. And then when he stayed on air, he found somewhere to live. That was probably a smart move at the time. Josh says, thanks to Patrick Stewart resigning his contract, we missed out on having Captain Riker almost a decade earlier. Darth Maul says, I want to see that show with the Irish people dressed like those people from Code of Honor. They did plenty of shows with weird Irish people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the one where they picked them up.
That one was
off
funny.
The planet.
The ones that were living with the chickens.
Yeah.
We're gonna girl wash her feet around.
We just
start making moonshine.
How to solve your cloner's problem, okay? You got to breed with these folk. What?
All the men always getting drunk and not doing their chores. We're gonna have to.
That was one of the better episodes.
And then what happens? Oh, we got to drop you off on a planet that they forgot how to have sex. You're going to have to teach her how to make babies again, the old-fashioned way.
I like the guy.
They're going to give you electricity and vacuum cleaners and washing machines and shit.
Spinning wheels.
Dan Van says, I was a kid in the 90s. And I saw TNG on TV. And I don't really remember the first time I saw Star Trek, but I'm going to say the first episode was Time's Arrow Part 2. That's a very interesting first episode. Hey, Positive Candor, Qapla. Qapla. You're very low, but I'll get you a little bit louder here. Edit Mike's edit.
Yeah,
there you go.
I'm hanging out in the corner with Garfield.
Garfield says hello. Okay, Positive Candor, you're all maxed out. What you got going on?
Well, 36 years ago, as you're saying, is when TNG started. I remember watching Encounter at Farpoint, episode 1 and 2. Did they do them both together?
Yeah.
Seems like. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
thought.
it was a single episode.
Yeah, they kind of crammed it together. I thought, okay, yeah, this is interesting. See where it goes. I'm gonna say the first episode is pretty meh, obviously, especially the ending with the goofy space octopuses or whatever you want to call them. But yeah, still had interesting characters, especially I guess Q, and obviously the crew of the Enterprise D. And after 7 seasons, 6 movies. Or wait, no, they only did 4 movies. And then other things that they were in, certain characters, mainly Riker and Worf. Yeah, I mean it's definitely up there with the original series, and everything as far as and most people's introduction to Star Trek is probably from nowadays is from the TNG, I should say, rather than the original series. So it's definitely now considered a classic. Obviously, there's good episodes and bad episodes and whatnot. Good characters, bad characters, etc. But yeah, all in all, probably, after Deep Space Nine and TOS, it's in the top 3 of all Star Trek shows ever. Yeah, that's mainly my thoughts.
I think top 3 is for sure.
What? Yeah,
top
yeah,
3.
sure.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, well, yeah, I'd say DS9, the original series, and TNG would probably be the top 3 for the series anyway. And then after that, whatever. I didn't really care for Voyager until 7 showed up, and even then, it wasn't that much of an improvement. And then obviously Enterprise was just so. It ended way too soon, and now we got the other messes after that, basically.
Stan Lee says, "I wonder if Picard
That's my thoughts.
No crust." Those are good thoughts, positive.
I mean, and it introduced the face palm, the Picard face palm, didn't it?
I guess I mean, Kirk had his own face palm, but yeah, Picard certainly has his. And I think all the captains.
I mean, and the Riker maneuver is now considered, classic.
And there's 2 Picard maneuvers. There's the Picard maneuver with the ship, with the Ferengi ship, or the where the Stargazer appeared in 2 places at one time for whatever reason. And then there's the Picard maneuver where he fixes his uniform every time he stands up.
Yeah, that was every time. That's every time. Yeah, that's every time he did that.
Everybody did that. That was that wasn't just Picard. Riker did it. I think I've seen the Forge do it a couple times. The only one who really didn't do it was Data.
Yeah.
At least
I mean, they had to do it. So
I think it went away as they improved the uniforms. But yeah, the
it
first
was
few
because that
few
elastic
seasons.
kept riding up. You know, they
Yeah.
had that elastic waist on the bottom of the shirts, the tunics after a while, and yeah, that shit kept riding up. They commented on it in one of the conventions that they were like, yeah, kind of shit was kind of uncomfortable. I think that's why Picard got the jacket for a while.
Yeah. Oh well, and to make him look more macho than he was.
John Araki says Bird meant to say he hated Matthew, but his Biden stutter kicked in and he sounded like he said mass. No.
Biden
I
stutter.
wanted to
That's
say
good.
Matthew. I would have said Matthew. Stanley says, and I heard this fan film, TNG, Star Trek Continues is good. Anyone seen that? Oh yeah, I've seen Star Trek Continues. I wouldn't call it a fan film because it's not a film. It's 11 separate 1-hour episodes.
Fan series.
Yeah, it's a fan series where they literally just take new actors and continue TNG, TOS as if nothing ever happened. I mean, basically, it's season 4 of TOS, and it's a really good job for a series that's 100% fan funded, fan built, didn't get any love from Paramount. You know, they didn't get access to the bridge or anything. They had to recreate everything from scratch. It's an excellent job. I mean, okay, some of the actors aren't as good. You have Vic Mignogna, who does Kirk. He does a passable
I think he
young
does
Shatner.
out of all the people that have done Kirk professionally and non-professionally, I think he's the best.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly believable.
The only problem with Vic is his voice. He doesn't have the commanding voice that William Shatner has. He has kind of a high-pitched voice. Hi, I'm Vic Mignogna. You know, he's a little up there, you know. But
one of those
I mean, nobody's going to be William Shatner.
Yeah, but he actually and he did a little coaching from William Shatner. He actually got the posture down, you know, the mannerisms, the inflections, you know. He's damn good, really damn good. And he took it to heart, you know.
Yeah.
And then he got now mind you, he produced most of this too. So he got Chris Doohan to play Scotty.
Right, which is
that's
his son.
Yeah,
the actual literal son of James Doohan.
There's no bigger honor, you know. And I watched an interview with Chris Doohan about that. He's like, you know, he was worried about doing the Scottish accent, and so he went to Scotland. You know, he did the same thing his dad did. He's like, he went to Scotland, and then got some guy in Scotland's like, oh, don't worry, your dad couldn't do a Scottish accent either. You know, just don't worry about it.
Yeah, and no, Star Trek Continues, absolutely worth watching. It's 100% free. It's on YouTube. Just Google Star Trek Continues. There's 11 episodes. They're in a playlist.
I also didn't know this until I was watching Dave Cullen's video the other day. The woman that played the Romulan commander from the Enterprise incident in Star Trek
daughter.
Continues, that was her daughter.
Yeah, I tell you, that woman looked exactly like them.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm like, my God, she looks good. And I
tell you, that
was her daughter.
I'm gonna be honest, that Romulan commander from the original series,
yeah,
she was hot. She was a very attractive woman, and you know, it kind of bothered me to think, Jesus, she's so old, if she's even alive anymore. And then she has a daughter. very nice to find out that her daughter looks exactly like her, 30, 60 years ago. And John Rogers says, better late than never. And like Dave Cullen said in his video, he envies, if you haven't seen Star Trek Continues, he envy you because it's like 11 more TOS episodes you haven't got to see yet.
Well, I think I like
the Spock guy is okay.
No, it's hard to get a guy to play Spock, like Leonard Nimoy. The thing another thing I thought was interesting is like some of Vic's episodes in that show were carryover episodes from some of the TOS episodes. So like Mirror Mirror, he did basically a recap, like a follow-up episode in the Mirror Universe of what happened on the Mirror Universe side after Kirk and crew, got back to their ship, and Spock takes over the Enterprise, and the episode was named "Who's the Fairest of Them All." So he played on the titles, to kind of interlink them, so you can get an idea of what this episode is going to be about. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? I thought that was pretty.
Yeah,
that's pretty ingenious way of doing it. And
there's also a follow up to the Last of the Archons or whatever.
Yeah, he did the one with Apollo. That was a follow up episode. There were a couple, and
it had the same guy.
Yeah,
the same actor who played Apollo. He was back. Quite a bit older.
But Vic Mignogna has he's got a lot of credit under his belt for a lot of things he's done, and it's just a shame. It's a shame his voice acting career went down the toilet because of some crappy false accusations, or unfounded accusations that were never proven to be true. Mm-hmm. And because he did not only did he do the Star Trek fan series, he also did a Fallout series, and it was also really, really, really good. And
Dave G says the animated series is excellent, and I agree, although I don't watch it that much. But Dan Ben says I don't bother watching Fan Track. Well, Dan Ben, you are losing. You are missing out.
There's I'll be honest. There's a lot of campy Fan Trek out there and fan Star Wars, but there's some stuff that actually I found quite entertaining. Starship Exeter, I thought that was pretty entertaining. The Farragut show, that was pretty good. Obviously Star Trek Continues, what we're talking about. Even the Star Trek Phase 2 fan series wasn't that bad. It had a few moments where it kind of cringed, but I still watched most of it all the way through, and it wasn't bad. I liked it. It was Star Trek.
Stan Lee says the 1.5x speed doesn't seem to work for live stream. It does if you start back in time. You can't speed up live, but if you start watching the stream late, you can certainly catch up at 1.5 speed. Dan Ben likes the Romulan episodes. Well, then you can go right to the final 2 episodes of Star Trek Continues, although I would strongly suggest watching all the episodes.
Yeah, Vic also gives a good reason why all the refits look different in the movie era. which I thought was pretty cool.
That's right. John Delancey also appears in the Star Trek Continues. Alex Morris's only episode I actually chuckled a laugh on. Not sure which one. Dave D says, when Odo kisses Kira, it reminds me of a mother bird feeding its young. Are we that far behind? In the
There we
chat?
go. Best Star Trek episode ever.
Can't
a lot of
touch
blonde
this.
Brutus.
No, Reggie Pools at Bird of Prey 5, you did not say Wharf 359. I mistakenly typed Wharf instead of Wolf. Oh, so I never, much ado about nothing. Johnny Rocky says, Picard has his mommy and daddy issues. He was scared to get laid. Yeah, I guess that's why. Stanley says, Dan Ben, yeah, I never watched the fan films either, but this one was recommended. Renegades was also pretty good at the time. And
Yeah,
now
it was all right. I thought it was a little weird though. Like
they kind of
having Admiral Chekhov, running around with Tuvok, I thought was kind of strange. I mean,
anything to get the people together. Dan Benson's Conundrum is one of my favorite episodes. If Alien wipes their memories and pretends to be Commander McDuff, and then they go destroy an alien central command, right? Everybody forgets who they are, and Riker and Ensign Rowe end up hooking up, and then they realize they hate each other. And Deanna is involved there too. Oh, and I see you've got Scenes from Justice playing. Everybody running to keep off the grass. And Cinnabon dropped off.
I just like the episode's got a lot of hot blonde chicks in it.
Last on the case is yes, they do Stan Lee and many other cameos. Aaron Gray, Colin Baker, the Apollo actor from Who Mourns for Adonis, the daughter of the Romulan commander from Enterprise incident, and many others.
Can we just talk about all that?
Yeah. Dan Vance and Ray, did you or did you not like Dr. Pulowski? I thought she was okay. Dan Van, at the time, I hated her with a passion.
Mm-hmm.
Over the years, I've kind of loosened up a bit.
I thought they were trying to redo McCoy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a real, I hate these transporters. I'm like, oh, Jesus, not again. It's like, I get
all
it.
the doctors hate transporters, apparently.
Pulaski was just old and crotchety, much like McCoy.
Stanley says, can't touch this. Can't touch this.
I never connected the dots so that she was actually in a couple original series episodes too, until I didn't connect those dots so much later.
Yeah. I connected the dots when I saw her. Like, holy shit. She's not.
I was pretty young at the time, so I didn't register.
She's not old. She used to be attractive. Very hard thing to recognize.
Nice bird.
I'm just saying. I was like, I never looked at her that way. The first time I saw her, she was an old woman to me.
Smoking hot. Fuck. Hell yeah.
At the time, she was probably as old as my grandmother. A disturbing thought. And you get to be 45, and you're like, oh, it wasn't that bad.
Exactly.
Taj Raheen, Qapla Taj Raheen says, I think it was the director that chose the African theme of the planet. I could be wrong, but he never worked on Trek again after that. That's very possible. That could have been what it was, and it's very unfortunate, in my opinion. Stanley says it did get a dozen. It did. Got a lot of people's acting jobs. They were not easy to come by. John Araki says, can we get a Beverly Bangs a Space Ghost super chat? I don't know about that. Stanley says, kind of like the anger of Seven Dwarfs made them not cast any dwarfs in the movie. Yeah. If you were a little person who was in movies as an actor, professional actor, and you were anybody other than the guy from Game of Thrones, you have been hoping for Disney Cinderella. What is it? Cinderella? No, what's it called?
Snow White.
Snow White. You've been hoping for the Disney Snow White movie your entire life. Your entire life. Like, when Snow White comes out, I'll be right there. I just have to be one of the best seven dwarfs that I can possibly be. And then Disney announces we're going to do Snow White, but we're not gonna hire any dwarfs because it's just too politically incorrect to have
Could have
dwarfs.
been like 14 jobs right there, because there's 7 which were the main actors, and you'd have the other 7 which were stunt doubles.
Yeah, you're right. There would have been 14 jobs right there.
Not anymore. Of course, I don't think any short people were cast as hobbits in Lord of the Ring either, says Stanley. As I never watched it, really, I can't confirm. Dan Benz's Sub Rosa is an episode people don't like, but the actress who played Beverly said it was her favorite to film. Didn't she direct that episode? Stanley's is dirty, stinking, drunk Irishman. Yeah, that was a common theme. Damn it, I like the episode Conspiracy. They were supposed to come back connected to the Borg, but the writers decided not to use them. I don't know how much I believe that. The actor who played William Riker had a medical issue. That's why he sits that way. I don't know how much I believe that either.
Actually, he did. Yes, he had. God, what the fuck was it? I think he had back problems. Is what it was.
Elephantitis.
Sonic K says the Riker maneuver, stand with one leg popped up, showing off his balls, which he used to get around. Last other cases, and you can tour the sets, including the bridge, over the fall in the winter in Southeast Georgia, Neutral Zone Studios website. That's from Star Trek Continues. Dan Ben says William Shatner got to wear different Starfleet uniforms, so that's why Patrick Stewart has the jacket, because he wanted it also. Darth Maul says no, that Romulan woman passed away recently, but her daughter is still kicking. Dan Ben says, Bird of Prey, do you like the ship separation? They did it 3 times in the show and then in Generations.
No.
the TNG separation.
Yeah.
Not particularly.
It's lame.
I get the theory. I mean, I understand why it does it, but to be honest, the battle bridge section, it just looks so ugly. Looks so stupid. I can't imagine anybody really taking that into battle.
And the saucer section has like
Like,
no
what are you
real
doing with the
engine.
saucer section? It has no warp drive.
Exactly.
I mean, where are the people going to go? Like, what? You're leaving, they're condemning them to their death.
It's like, we're going to escape on impulse power.
Yeah.
It's like in all actuality, they should have been doing that every episode.
Right. But then, if the Enterprise ends up losing the battle, the enemy should just come over and either destroy the saucer or just take it and capture everybody on it. Like, what? You might as well just let everybody die. I don't know. I don't think it would work in the real world. Let's put it that way. It would never work in the real world.
My folks went to the Star Trek Generations in the theater. I went with my friends. They went on their own. I asked Mom what she thought of it. She's like, "Well, I'll tell you, you know what ruined it for me? Like what? When I thought when the engineer guy grabbed the girl and she dropped her teddy bear. Why the hell are their family on that ship?" Like, Mom, you never watched The Next Generation, did you? No, I didn't. She never really got into Star Trek that much. But you know, she didn't understand that in the TNG that they had families on the Enterprise, you know. It's like she did that, ruined it for her. It's like ruined the immersion. I don't understand it. Okay. It's like I thought it was stupid.
Executive producer Saul Leibowitz says, "I was a kid when the animated series aired. The stories and voice work was great, but it had crap animation. Instead of Lower Decks, I wish Paramount would pay money to properly reanimate the animated series." I understand what you're saying, but I think at this point, it is what it is. And you have people who love the animated series. And if you reanimate it, you're going to just be angry.
Get the guys from South Park to reanimate it.
Oh my God, no.
To be honest, that's the cheapest way to do it. And it would be a labor of love for sure. But the reality is, I don't care how it's animated. If it's a good story, it doesn't need to even be animated well. I mean, just tell it as a fucking, listen to it. Like it's a
audio book.
What's that? An audio book or a pot. What are those things you do? You listen to these days?
Podcast.
Podcast. Yeah, like a podcast. I don't care. I'll listen to it like a podcast. No graphics needed. No video needed. It's the story I care about. Last on the case is no schlock in Star Trek continues. Music, lighting, writing, and acting all evoke the original series. Dan Benz's TOS Romulan Commander, the first female Romulan, played by Joanne Linville. Yes. 1928. Jesus Christ, to 2021. The Traveler says, "I'm not here, so ignore me."
Okay.
Qapla, Wesley. I mean, the Traveler, formerly known as Wesley Crusher. Alex Moore remembers Renegades. Yeah, they had to rebrand it as a non-Trek film, but I watched it when it was still a Trek film, and they had all the everybody was called by their original Trek names. Last set of cases, even the blonde crewman in Star Trek Continues also had acted on Enterprise. Last son of cases, the life orbs and hideous ambassador in the box episodes.
Those things that look like fish that they're transporting. Can't remember what they're called.
Darth Maul says, imagine being surprised seeing Michael Dorn without his Worf garb and 12 years younger in Chips. My jaw dropped watching a rerun back in the day. And Darth Maul had a large fuzzy caterpillar. He had a large fuzzy caterpillar on his upper lip acting on Chips. Oh my God. And last on the cases, thank you to Peter Dinklage, you effing a. Schwario says, Bird, I'm finally back. I lost internet temporarily. Oh, glad you're back, Schwario. Sorry about your lost internet. Darth Maul says, thanks to Peter Dinkleberry for that comment. And Darth Maul says, yes, he did. Executive producer Saul Leibowitz says, Bird of Prey actor Paul Winfield was in both Star Trek II and the TNG episode Dharma. Winfield was also nominated for an Oscar in 1974 for Sounder. Was Winfield the first Oscar nominated actor on Star Trek? I have no idea. I don't think so, but who knows? I'm not going to look it up. Last son of K says the D was the first version of the saucer separation that didn't need space dock to reattach. Dan Ben says they do that in an episode of Superman and Lois in the 90s. A teenage girl goes to grab a teddy bear before something falls on her outside the city. Dan Lee says radio play. Dan Ben says Superman saves her so it doesn't fall on her. Stanley says, or like one of those deluxe audiobooks where they hire actors to do all the different dialogue and add sound effects. That would work.
Pew pew.
Dan Ben likes Lower Decks. Last on the case is like Big Finish, who is like Big Finish is to Doctor Who. I have no idea what that means. Darth Maul says the Traveler character gave off the Stranger Danger vibe. He certainly did.
Yeah.
It's another season 1 of TNG.
Pulls up in a big white van that says free candy on the side.
And Beverly is like, oh, maybe my son wants some candy.
And Picard was, get rid of him.
Stanley says, I heard one of those fish people was actually played by Mick Fleetwood in costume.
Yeah.
Stan Lee says to Dan Ben, I always liked the Picard suede command jacket.
You know the jacket I would like to find? Scotty's from Star Trek 3.
I was going to say that.
I like that jacket.
Yeah.
I would pay a big silver dollar for one of them.
Well, check the memorabilia auction site.
I have. It's hard as hell to find. And,
They
and
have
one
one
my fat ass, Jesus.
In California.
What's the name about as big
or
around as
London.
Scotty?
I can't remember what the place is called. Damn it.
Gorilla says there's a reason it's nicknamed the ED.
It is called the Star Trek bomber jacket, though. I know that.
Stanley says, Dan Ben, just not sure why he wore a blue tunic under his red command design suede jacket. And last on the case is Big Finish does audio dramas to expand the lore and duration of different versions of the Doctor. Okay. Yeah, not really my thing. And Dosmal says, anyone watch Lois and Clark and see Frakes and his real life wife in an episode or two? No, I'm not a Lois and Clark person. I don't know if anyone else knows. But a heads up, we will be ending in a few minutes.
Okay.
So let's go through and let everybody say something before we go. Positive Candor, anything you'd like to say before we go?
Thanks for the memories. That's about it.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Thanks for the
Oh,
memories.
you're welcome. All is well with you. See you soon again. Jim, anything you got going on?
Not much. I do. Well, I got all my model. I got my model in. I got to build it, but I don't know when I'm going to start it. I got a few other projects I'm working on right now. Give me a second here. I'll show it off here. So I figured out which camera I got to use. There I am. All right. So I bought this.
USS Grissom.
Yeah. I have basically a pile of lighting kits that I'm going to be using. This is a light sequencer for flashing lights. Well, actually, more like it's more used for train terrain when you're doing train sets. You know, you can light up your buildings, so it's like to turn the lights on and off in the buildings. But you can actually sequence it so it's a little faster. I have a bay in my living room that has flashing lights that the lights go on and off. So I'm going to use that for some of the running lights on this. Also have the standard one that's going to be for the window lighting. So yeah, and the neat thing is whoever designed this sucker, and this is a pretty decent sized model. This is that's the size. That's how big it's going to be. So when I get to the saucer section here, I don't have to do a thing to the saucer section except paint it, because it's already got the portholes in it. So
very cool.
That's pretty awesome. This
portholes.
They're called portholes.
Or people are questioning what type of animal print are those blanket sheets on your bed? A zebra or tiger?
That's just a comforter. Zebra striped comforter. Whatever. I got it because it was cheap at Walmart.
It's the cheap man's leopard print.
Yeah. Anyways, so that's an upcoming project. I also got my latest Gundam model. That's coming up. I'll be making that sooner or later. But right now I'm sorting Legos, so.
Very cool. All right. Good luck. JP's, what you got going on?
I got nothing going on like usual. Oh, never mind. I'm currently working on my clown face light bright.
Clown face light bright?
Yeah.
I hope you show Yvette that underground. Just put it randomly on your camera.
I haven't seen a light bright in many years.
I was kidding. Okay, supposed to be funny.
Or
you're showing off your models, so I figured I'd show off my face light brights.
Well, he asked if you had anything going on. Well, there you go.
Exactly. I had nothing going on like usual. So
LDG, what you got going on?
are you closing up, Bird? Is that what it is? I just got back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was there.
Okay, I was wondering. Oh, not much. Looks like I'll be popping in the underground again and hanging out with a few people. freethenet.org/underground.
freethenet.org/underground.
Hey Yvette, what's up? I'm just finishing on Birds. 1 second.
It's freethenet.cs.
What?
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 I got a feeling we're gonna have a nice chit chat there here after Bird finishes up. So join the fun.
Yeah.
freethenet.org/underground. Okay, guys, thank you all for hanging out and coming and remembering Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Did you not forget Captain Phantom Nerd? I don't remember him saying anything.
Didn't I do him first?
No.
I don't know.
Captain, I'm so sorry.
God damn it, Bird.
I apologize.
Don't you hate it when Bird forgets to do you?
Oh my god.
When you put it
it's
that
just-
way,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Captain Phantom Nerd. Please.
no, thank you for having this stream today. It's good to remember 36 years ago.
Absolutely.
My check's in the mail, right, Captain? Just remembering.
Yes.
Me remember you. All right, good.
All right, we all got done by Bird. Are we good now? Someone have a
Anything
cigarette?
else you want to say, Captain, before we go?
Yeah, kick LDG.
What are you talking about? That was me. See, I have the power.
He kicked
I
himself.
know you do.
I had the power.
Any Vet says good evening, Bird and everyone. I just finished work.
What?
Good for you. Glad you're finished. And welcome. But with that, thank you all for watching. Qapla all. Bird in panel out.
Wait, does